Okay, hello everyone. It's episode 10. It's Cup of Tea. It's Riel here. Thank you for coming on. Today I have a very special guest on. It's Sara Vieira, right?
Yeah,
Is that
you
right?
got it right. Yeah.
Um, Sara, thank you for coming on. Sara is a very talented artist. She's into her music. She's a musician, a great guitarist as well. And she's actually, the reason she's on today is she has come up with a fantastic, I think, platform, a very innovative idea that she's come up with, and now is on YouTube. And I think that this idea that she's come up with is a great platform to showcase talent from all across the world, and for them to have a platform to really show that talent. So, Sara, enough from me. I want to hear from you now. Can you just introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your journey to from where you've come to up to now?
Sure. So, I've always, since young, I've always been into music and all of that. That's always been my kind of thing. And I started off pretty much with kind of just messing around. Ended up teaching myself guitar, and then since then I started like just messing around, writing a few songs here and there, performing here and there. And then as I was performing more, I got to meeting different people within, I would say, the underground scene of the music industry. And I've met some great people. Some of them are still my friends till this day. And through that, they kind of introduced me to more and more people. And I was always just so shocked as to how like these people weren't getting enough clout. And these were some of the most talented people that I had ever met and come across. So to skip ahead, last year I was trying to find a job because I had left school and I didn't want to go.
Like a normal job you were trying to find, or you were trying to find like a job within your field, like?
I was trying to find a job within, I would say, the media industry.
Okay.
Because I knew that, like, within the media industry, there's all different avenues you can go across, and and luckily, because I had met a producer through one of my friends in the underground music industry, I got a placement at a media company, and it turned out that this media company was heavily involved within the music industry. So because I met these people, a year later, I got to meeting all different other kinds of people as well. And whilst I was on this journey of trying to find a job, it sounds bizarre, right? But my parents got a red telephone box in my living room. And
bought it one day, or it was like always?
They always wanted to have a red telephone box in their
Oh, it's like an
house.
antique.
Yeah, but then my god sister, she was working at LinkedIn, I think, and they had one and they were trying to get rid of it. So she called up my parents saying, "Do you want it? I know you've wanted one for ages." They took it and they placed it in my living room. And because I was spending a lot of time at home, one day I just randomly, because I was bored, I just picked up my guitar and I went into the telephone box. And I realized, oh, someone can actually stand in here. The acoustic's actually quite all right, and someone can sing in it. So to talk about RedBox super briefly, that's how I basically came up with the concept of, oh, people can actually perform in here, and it's actually quite a sick idea. So then through these people, I just kind of put the two and two together of being super interested in these people that hardly had a platform to showcase their talent, to also trying to create one. And I think for me, because I love music so much and I've never really wanted to be so forward out there with my own personal music, I thought, why don't I just put the two and two together and try and make other people shine? So that's literally kind of the journey that I've gone through so far, and I hope continues on.
Okay, let me ask, just out of curiosity, when you were thinking about that, when you came up with the idea for RedBox, were you in the box one day and you just happened to be singing, then you realized the acoustics, or were you like one day just looking at it and you were like, oh, this would be great to use? Was it something that came naturally, or was it sort of planned?
it was purely fun. And I've still got a video of when I actually did step into the telephone box myself.
Yeah.
Because I was just messing around. And I remember my god sister was at my house actually. And I was messing around, joking around. And then I went into the telephone box like, da, 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 and then as I'm playing, I'm hearing like, oh, this is actually quite sick. And
Wow.
it fits someone in here. And I kind of kept that aside. And then I remember I was in a little bit of a rut because
Yeah.
everyone was working, everyone was at uni, and I was just sat at home applying for jobs. And I felt like I needed something to kind of make myself occupied and also, I would say, release my creative outlet. Let's
Sure.
put it that way. So
Sure.
yeah, and then I just started. I remember I messaged one of my friends thinking it's gonna sound like a completely random idea, but what would you think if I came up with like a little series of this? And instantly they were like, the idea, like it just has something to it that's just going to attract people. So
Yeah.
from that day on, I was just like, right, I'm going to take this seriously and I'm going to try and make it happen.
Yeah.
And then as I started telling more and more of these underground artists, they were like, oh my days, I would love to get involved. So
Yeah.
people were completely excited about it, and then that just amped up my enthusiasm for it as well.
Because it is such a creative, innovative idea, isn't it? You know, it's something that you just think, who thinks of this? You know, but it's kind of those ideas that really do pick up, you know.
Sure, for sure.
Before we talk about where you want to go with Redbox and exactly what it is and how you feel about it, I want to talk a little bit about your music, because I know you briefly mentioned music there. And actually, there was one point, I don't know if you remember, but there was one point where you were actually considering acting as well, wasn't there?
So
You know what?
that's actually
There was,
funny because
there
the
was,
way
yeah, sorry.
I'm just going to quickly say to the audience how
Yeah,
we briefly met. It was
yeah,
actually so random. So
yeah.
we were outside of Brixton Jam. I remember this like it was yesterday. We were outside of Brixton Jam on a random, I think it was like a Wednesday night or something like that. Yeah, and I
Wednesday.
remember I was getting ready to get ID to go in, and I just heard you behind me, like just talking or whatever.
I was so loud back then.
And then we just got to talking because I was just like, you know what, who cares? I'm going to talk to everyone. And then you said you were an aspiring actor, so I was just like, oh, I've dipped into acting
Yeah.
and performing and all that. Let me get your contact. And then I remember we spoke briefly about acting as well. So
Yeah.
that's a very interesting story about how
All
we
right.
met.
That's the context. That's the context.
Context, yes.
So everyone's just gonna think we just club all day and night now, you know.
No,
But no, it was a one-off. It was a one-off.
Yeah,
What was I gonna say?
one-off.
What, you know? So it seemed like you were interested in acting at one point. When it came to the whole finding music as your passion and your love, and whether that be for a showcase for other people or something that's within yourself and to create your own music. Since you were considering acting and possibly some other creative art forms as well, was it a matter of playing the field and seeing what was right for you? Or did you always know deep down music was going to be the one thing that you pursued?
Well, I mean, for anyone that knows me, everyone knows that I was completely confused. Like I had no idea what I wanted to do in terms of my career path. I had no clue at all. But one thing I did know was that I wanted to be into something creative. So at that point in time, I was trying to explore my options for sure. But that's why I kind of decided the media route, because I was just like, it can literally open up so many different avenues. And then I also just realized like the one thing that's completely stuck and I've never left alone is music. And one thing I do know my stuff on, I will confidently say to anyone, and I'll have a debate about anything to do with music, is music. So I was just like, for someone that is like completely passionate about it since being a little kid, I was like, how the hell would I be able to drop that for the rest of my life? I wouldn't be able to at all. So it kind of, since then, it kind of became an aspiration of mine to incorporate music into my career as well, and trying to figure out how I could fit the two together. So yeah,
I think you've done that quite well, I must say. Obviously right now it's COVID-19. Are you quarantined like most people with their family, or?
Yeah, so I'm at home with my whole family, yeah.
So how have you been spending your time during COVID? During quarantine? Has it been stressful? Have you been keeping in a creative space, or what?
During my free time, I will say that I have been trying to keep as creative as I can, whether that be editing stuff for Redbox or writing music or just playing on my guitar, or I've been doing some Instagram lives with my good friend Josh. We definitely do like a lot of stuff like that, because a lot of people surprisingly have been asking me to put up more content.
Yeah.
So I have a page called Sara Vieira Music. I created that profile purely as like a hobby thing. Like I was just like, oh, if I ever want to put out a music, like me singing something, I don't really want to put it on my personal account. I'll just put it on this account. So I left that account alone for like months. And then ever since I got into lockdown, I just kept on hearing people like, can you upload more on this, please? Can you do more lives, please? And I was just like, is that something you really want? Because for me, that was never really my kind of direction to go, like to put stuff out there of myself.
Yeah.
But ever since being in lockdown, everyone's literally been just asking for more content, whether that is a weekly live or whether that is a weekly video or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to do that as well. It's been challenging because it's out of my depth, but yeah, I have been trying. For sure.
Well, let me just say this. All right, Sara, because I hadn't really properly heard you sing like until the other day when I listened to your Instagram post that you put out. I think it was Usher.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. Oh my gosh. Like I don't know, like you snapped on that. You know, you snapped and I was like, okay, this is dope. This girl is dope. And I feel, just personally, I don't know what your opinion is, but I feel like when you have such a beautiful voice, it's almost criminal to not share it with everyone else. Do you agree with that statement?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. But see, with music, I think, and I've had this conversation with so many people, I think nowadays, a lot of the time it's become more about the person rather than the music. And that's, I think, what is stopping me from trying to put music out there actively, because I've never been the kind of person where I want it to be about me. Like I would rather it be my content speaking for itself. So if I ever did, I've always said, like, people are always like, are you going to do a RedBox episode of yourself? Are you going to release something? Because I know you write stuff. And I'm like, if I did,
that would be dope. You in RedBox. How it's done.
Having a RedBox episode is, I always tell people that's something I want to like think about in the
I feel like you got to lead up to that. Like you're still trying to work out the whole logistics of it. Like it's still,
100%.
you know, in its early stages.
It's still in its early days, and you know, with COVID-19, it's not really helpful. Luckily, I did pre-record like a bulk of a few episodes, so I've been putting those out. But obviously, like, it's running thin now. I kind of want to get back into the swing of things again, and like just trying to put as much content out as possible of other people, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sara, you're the next move in your life, the next couple of years of your life, or whatever long term, whatever you want to call it, it really does look at this moment like RedBox. You know, of course, I'm sure you have so many ideas in your mind of what you want to do, where you want to go. But RedBox, I think, is so promising and such an innovative idea, and it's amazing. So let's get a little bit deeper into that, so that people really know what you represent and what you've done here. So can you talk a little bit about what kind of artists you'd like to have on RedBox? Someone also mentioned some of the ones you have had on, and more importantly, where do you want to see RedBox go? Like, what's your long-term ambition for it to go? Like, ideally, where do you see it in 3 to 5 years or so, you know?
Okay, so RedBox, I've kind of described it as a platform to kind of focus on the British underground scene, because I think that there's something about the British underground scene that has such an edge to it that I can't see a lot of other cultures, you know, competing with. But obviously some people will say I'm ignorant for that, but I think that the British scene definitely has like a different edge to it.
A unique quality.
Yeah, so the kind of artists that I've had on range from soul to rap to R&B to alternative, whatever you want to call it. But at the same time, RedBox is open to all genres. So if I find an indie artist or a country artist or a rock artist or a classical artist or a gospel artist, whatever it is, if I see an artist that I'm just like, wow, like I can see that person like completely growing and they just need a platform, I'm 100% on it. Like I wouldn't want to discriminate like just to purely give out soul and R&B and rap music, because I think even though they're very popular, at the same time, RedBox is also, I aspire it to be a platform where people are open to different kind of genres and can explore that. So yeah, in the next 3 to 5 years, I definitely would like, ideally, I would like RedBox to grow in following and obviously recognition. As you may know, like it definitely puts a lot of, like you have to put a lot of work in for that to happen. And especially with COVID-19, it's kind of stunted it, but it's okay. We'll work past it. And that's the main focus, to try and get more of a following, more of a recognition, to get so many more artists, because even though I've been exposed to quite a lot of artists, I would also like to have that broadened. Eventually, and we're talking about maybe like 10 years at this point, if it's gone big, I would like to think about maybe not only giving artists a platform, but also representing them to kind of be their own artists in themselves. Because I know, especially nowadays, if you sign into a record label, I've noticed that, you know, artists are kind of stripped back into more of a commercial side of things, just to gain, you know, more sales, more popularity and all of that. And what you kind of find is the thing that makes the artists themselves,
originality,
it's kind of just stunted. So I would, in the future, if RedBox did go successful, hopefully, that would definitely be something to allow the artists to be completely who they are, create the music that they really, truly want to make, because that's what draws people in. But yeah, definitely to increase the following and to, you know, get more and more artists in, so then they can have the platform that they're trying to get. So yeah.
What is one thing you think all artists or creatives should know? Just one thing.
Good question. I would definitely say, and I know it sounds cliche, but to stick to your kind of what you do. Don't be influenced by what you think people are going to want to see. Because a lot of the time, when you do buy into creating stuff that, you know, you think other people are going to want to see, you just draw yourself away from yourself, and then it just becomes fake. And people can see when it's fake. People can really see when something is not you. You're just doing it for money. You're just doing it for views. Like, you don't care. And one thing I've always said is, whatever I make, if I was the only person on earth, and if the only thing that I had access to was the thing that I made, would I listen to it? Would I watch it? Would I love it myself? And that's how I kind of take my creative standpoint. So like when I'm editing something for RedBox, when I'm watching it back, if I'm like, I'm actually proud of this and I actually would sit down and I would watch it in my own time, that's when it's ready to be put out. I don't really go into it thinking, oh, someone might not like it, someone might not like it. Because at the end of the day, people are watching your content because you've made it and you're bringing something else on the table. They're not watching their own content because, you know, like they see it on a day-to-day basis. They're trying to watch what you're making. And that can only happen if everyone's sticking to themselves. So I would definitely say that stick to what you want to make and make sure you love it first.
She looked you in the camera, guys. You got to take that in. Sara, my last question on RedBox would be, so let's say, for example, someone is watching this and they say, oh, I think I fit that criteria. How would are they okay to just sort of get you on Instagram and say, hey, look, I think I fit the bill, I'd like to come on? Is there an application process, or how would it work?
So I'm sure you'll put the Instagram handle, or so RedBox is on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and YouTube, of course. And you can either drop a DM or you can email. RedBox has an email as well.
Okay.
And yeah, just literally just drop a message saying, hey, I'm interested, and then we can take it from there. I've had like 2 or 3 messages here and there of people interested, and it's a super laid back approach. Like, it really is. Like, it's very accessible, and I hope
They don't need to be like, hello, ma'am, my name is.
no, just be like, hey, you're right.
Yeah.
I've seen RedBox and I'd love to be a part of it. Great, we can get into conversation. And I hope it stays that way as hopefully it grows. Like, one thing I will want it to be is very accessible to everyone, because it really is about everyone else. So yeah.
Well, I think I speak on behalf of many people when I say you've come up with a fantastic idea, and I wish you absolutely nothing but the best, because I really think you're onto something here. And I'm going to be supporting you 100% all the way through.
As am I with this. This is a great concept as well. Have a bit of tea.
Thank you. Yes, the cup of tea. Zoom, guys, we had to do it. All right, Sara. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
One day, you wake up, okay?
Okay.
You open your eyes, and you look around, and you're like, what? And you're on a desert island, okay?
Desert island. Woo.
Desert island, yeah.
Hey.
And and you're walking along, you get up, you're trying to find where you are, you get up, and you're walking along, and you're walking between the bit, where like the ocean hits the sand, and it's like that soggy sand bit. You're walking along there, so you can see the footprints going on. It's very majestic, okay?
Yeah.
And it's very hot. You're walking along, and then you hit your foot on something. You're like, oh, and you pick it up. Can you guess what it is?
Can I guess what it is?
Yeah. What did you hit your foot on?
Is this like a trick question?
No, it's not.
It's like a riddle.
No, kind of. All right, you hit your foot on a lamp, okay?
A lamp?
Yes, a lamp. So anyway, you pick up the lamp, and you rub the lamp, and poof, a genie appears, okay? And and the genie...
I just want to see where this question's going.
I'm going to see where it goes. Okay. So the genie's name is Simon Watford, okay? His name's Simon Watford, and he says to you, okay, Sara, I'm in a bad mood, all right? That's what he says to you. I've been in this lamp for 1,000 years. I've got out, but I have to grant you one wish, okay? Because you rubbed the lamp and let him out.
Okay.
However, he says, I'm in a bad mood. So what he's going to do is, you're not going to like this because you're a singer, but he says, I'm going to take your voice away, okay? He's going to, yeah, it's deep. It's deep. So he takes your voice away. So he said he's going to take your voice away, your voice box, so you'll never be able to speak again. However, the one wish that he's going to grant you is he says, he says, before I take your voice away, I'm going to allow you to speak one final sentence or a couple of words, whatever you want to say. And that final sentence or phrase or paragraph, whatever you want to say, is going to be rippled across the entire planet. Everyone is going to hear it. It's going to be translated in every language. It's going to be in every country. Everyone's going to hear exactly what you're about to say. But that will be the last sentence or things you say that you'll ever be able to speak, basically, before he takes your voice away. So my question is, Sara Vieira, what do you say to the entire world?
You're going to have to give me like a little bit of time to think. It's like such a profound question, and you're just doing it at nothing.
I don't want to say anything.
Woo!
Steve.
Getting me like...
Yeah, are you feeling it? Are you feeling it?
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the heat from the desert, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Right, what would I say to the entire world? I would say...
Good question, right?
Damn. Have people like answered this question just like quickly before?
No. Everyone struggles. Absolutely everyone.
Okay. Everyone. I would say...
But some people really try to be cool about it. They're like, oh yeah, I would say. And it's like, oh yeah, just...
And they don't know what they would say. I'm not even going to say like I know what rhyme.
I love how you're authentic about it. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, you've got to be real around here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would say, okay, I would say that life is really and truly bigger than yourself and bigger than what you think it is. And I would say that I would say, put all your love and your heart in God. That's what I would say. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Put all your love.
That's what I would say.
Yes.
Put all of your heart and your love in God. That's what I would say.
Guys, you heard it right from Sara Vieira. Put all your love, put all your heart right into God. In God we trust. You know it all the time.
Amen.
Amen to that. Sara, we've come to the end. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been one of my favorite episodes. You really are talented. You really are amazing. You're talented all across the board. And we're behind you 100% with RedBox. I can't wait.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. For real.
Thank you so much. All right. You take care. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Just a quick one.
Yes.
Just a quick one. Before we go, I want to plug it. I want to plug you on my Instagram so then people know.
Oh.
You're getting a shout out.
I'm getting a shout out.
I'm getting a shout out.
Shut up and sit down.